Howdy family, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make more fall decor items using Dollar Tree products. Last week I uploaded a neutral fall decor video and I told you guys in that video if we could get it to 5,000 likes by the end of the week, I would do another fall decor video this week. I decided to add a little bit more of wood tones inside of it this time around, or a little bit kind of darker tones, just in case you're not into just the fall white type of look and you want something a little bit still on the natural side but a little bit deeper. Let me know your favorite DIY down in the comments below. Mine is a crate just because it took a bit of thinking of how I was going to get it like that, and it's using Dollar Tree products, so I think it's pretty darn cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If we could get this video to 5,000 thumbs up, I will do another fall decor DIY video for you guys next week. We just got to get it to 5,000 thumbs up by the end of the week. Anyways, also make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not, and hit that bell button so you're notified every single time that I upload. With that being said, let's begin the tutorial.
Let's start with these framed images that remind me of something you can get at Pottery Barn. From Dollar Tree, you want to pick up some of their 4x6 picture frames, but I suggest getting the ones that have a wood appearance to them. They have them in 4 different colors. I got the beech wood looking color. Now what you're going to do is remove the contents out from within the picture frame, and then you are gently going to break this thing in half. This is held together by staples and these little like metal pieces, so if you slowly move the corners, you'll be able to separate the two pieces without actually cracking anything off. Now use a pair of pliers to remove the little tabs that hold the contents that come inside of a picture frame in place, and then also to remove those little metal pieces that I'm talking about that keep the frame held together. You don't necessarily need pliers, they just make your life so much easier. For the images, I will be using these wall art canvases from Dollar Tree, so they have a canvas on the back, obviously. I got one that said blessed with birds, and then this one that says bless our nest. So what I do is I take those pieces of the picture frame and I put them around the canvas to get the shape that I want. They're going to be overlapping the frames. The pieces are going to have to overlap so they go entirely around the canvas. You can try cutting the frame with a scissor, but I feel like it's going to crack, so it's better to do it this way. And honestly, I like the way that it looks. I like that some of the frame pieces are popping out a little bit more than others, and then I like the little cut on each side of the frame. I personally like it, but I mean, like I said, you can try doing something different if you want to. To glue the frames, I'm using my hot glue gun. You can use whatever glue you want for this. Now once I have all the frames glued together, I flip the image upside down along with the frames, and then I glue around the edges of the picture frame where they meet the canvas, and that way these are now attached to the canvas, whereas before it was just surrounding the canvas. Obviously I have to attach it to the canvas, and that's how I did it. And that's it for these framed canvas art images. I think they're really nice. Now moving on to this really simple lantern. Honestly, stupid simple. From Dollar Tree, you want to pick up these rectangular shaped photo frames, so they are longer than they are wider. Then what you're going to do is you are going to remove the contents out of the picture frame and then use your pliers to remove those tabs. You don't necessarily have to do this, but if you end up deciding that you're going to keep the tabs in, the glass in as well, you're going to see the tabs holding the glass in place and it's not going to look as nice. So if you end up removing the tabs like I did, you're going to have to end up gluing the glass into place because there's going to be no tabs to hold it anymore. So like I said, this is something that's personal preference. It's up to you. You don't even have to have the glass back in there. I just like the way it looks with the glass. I just put hot glue around the edges of the frame and then put the glass into place. Once I have all 4 frames done, I then attach them to each other, and again I'm just using a hot glue gun to attach them to each other. You want to make sure before you glue anything that you're getting the layout of the frames correct, because the very last frame I put on, I realized I kind of messed up with the way that I glued it. So my frame, the front frame, kind of like the frames start to go a little bit more inward than everything being even all around, if that makes sense. So just make sure you're paying attention to the way you're gluing these things. Obviously you want to place something on the bottom so the contents of your lantern don't just fall out. I was going to use a picture frame for this as well, but a smaller one. But after I ended up messing up with the way that I glued everything together, I ended up just taking the little cardboard piece that the frames came with and then cutting up some piece that would be properly placed at the bottom, and then I just glued those pieces into place, and that's how I created the bottom of the lantern. It's a little jacked up, but it's not like you can see the bottom anyway. Once you're done with your lantern, you can place whatever you like inside of it. I ended up using some Spanish moss from Dollar Tree. I put that at the bottom. Placed my Target fabric pumpkin inside of the lantern, and then lots of fairy lights. Dollar Tree does carry fairy lights. And then the last thing I did was put some garland at the bottom, also from Dollar Tree. I got the oak garland, which has more leaves that have that green tone to them. And then that was it for the lantern. I told you, this one was super easy. Now moving on to this wall art. From Dollar Tree, you want to pick up some of these wood-looking 8x10 picture frames. You're going to want to remove the contents out of this as well. To the inside of the frames, I'm placing this wood-looking cardstock paper. I got it at Michael's. It's best to buy it when it's 10 for $1. That's when I think you get the best deal on them. All you have to do is cut the paper to fit the inside of your picture frame. Place that piece of paper inside of the frame, and then all the contents you just put back into the picture frame. Dollar Tree does carry contact paper that has a wooden appearance, but what I don't like about it is there's a shine to it. I don't really like that shine, so that's why I'm using this cardstock, because it's duller. Once I've got my paper inside of the frames, I then just glue the frames together. I used a hot glue gun just because it dries quickly, but I do recommend using something like a super glue or E6000. And on the back of these, I normally tend to use foam board to make sure it's really nice and sturdy. This time around, I decided to use popsicle sticks, and it worked really well. The popsicle sticks are obviously from Dollar Tree, and you're going to find them in the crafting section. So now for the wreath and the flowers, I got this willow wreath from Dollar Tree, and then I picked up a bunch of flowers, ones that had some burlap on them, and then I picked up some greenery, a little bit of pine cones. It's all up to you what you want to use exactly. So I go ahead and I glue some of them to my wreath. I put them on the bottom left corner of the wreath, and then once I had that all glued on, I then glue the wreath to the center of the picture frame. Before gluing your wreath down to the picture frame, place it on the picture frame first, and then see where the wreath is actually touching the frame and put glue there. If you put glue all around the back of the wreath and then put it on the picture frame, you're going to have glue that's dripping on spots where it's not touching the actual frame, so it's best to do it the other way around. Once you have got that glued down, you can then add some greenery and flowers to the corners of this. That's what I did. I just put it on the top right corner and the bottom left corner, and I really like the way this looks. You can obviously put it all around the picture frame or switch the spots that you put it on. I personally like it the way that I did it. And that's it for this piece of wall art. It's one of my favorite ones I've ever done. I'm actually going to take it and put it in my living room. Now moving on to this crate. From Dollar Tree, you want to pick up at least 4 packs of their tumbling tower game, which is essentially Jenga. Now what you're going to be doing is gluing these pieces side by side. What you want to do first is make 2 rows of 4 pieces that are side by side, and you're going to make 6 of those total, and this will be the front and the back of the crate. Again, that's 2 rows, and each row has 4 pieces of blocks that are side by side. So 8 blocks total you use for that. For the sides of the crate, you want to glue 3 pieces of Jenga side by side and make 2 rows of them. So 2 rows with 3 pieces of those blocks side by side. And again, you're going to make 6 total. You're going to need something that keeps the front, back, and side pieces attached. So for that, you're going to want to make just single rows with 3 Jenga pieces side by side. This one is probably the most simple out of all of them. They're all easy to glue on, but I'm just saying this is just literally glue 3 pieces side by side. Okay, good luck to me trying to explain this next part, but at least you can see what's going on. You're going to take your front and back pieces and lay them out. And then you're going to take those really small pieces, which are just 3 blocks glued side by side, super thin, and you're just going to place them on top of the front and back pieces, and then decide how you want the spacing to be between the bigger pieces. Once you got that figured out, you can then glue the single row on top of those 3 spaced out pieces. I slowly glue it on. I start with the bottom piece, and then I glue the single little piece on top of that bottom piece, and then I work my way onto the top part, and then I can figure out exactly where I want that middle piece once the top and the bottom are glued on. I just figure it's easier to do the bottom and the top of the crate first and then put that center piece on and figure out the spacing that way. It's just much easier rather than putting the center first and then realizing the spacing's kind of off. So once I've got that done, I then glue on the side pieces, and I just glue them so that they're connecting with each little row. I made 2 pieces just like this, and then I glue those 2 pieces together, creating the frame of the crate. Obviously, you want a bottom to this crate, and the easiest way to do this is just to glue 3 blocks side by side, creating 1 row, and then just stacking those rows on top of each other. But one of the Jenga little games that I bought had a mixture of unfinished wood and then this deep wood color, and I was afraid that it might look funny if I put a mixture of those 2 colors around the edges of the crate, and then I felt like if I ended up painting over it, it might just look uneven in color. So I just decided to not do a bunch of rows and stack them on each other. I just glued the darker wood around the edges of the crate, and then I filled the inside on the top with a mixture of, you know, the unfinished wood color and then the deep wood color. That way I could avoid making this look really odd in tone. I will say this though, when all was said and done after I painted, you couldn't really tell the difference. Anywho, obviously I ended up painting this, and I just painted this with a gray chalk paint. You can, you know, use whatever finish you like. You can even use an actual wood stain on this, but I really like the color of this gray chalk paint. To the inside of the crate, I placed some of this Excelsior from Dollar Tree as well as some fake pumpkins, and then I decided I wanted to write on the front of the crate, so I used a black marker to write Farm Fresh Pumpkins 25 cents. It's a little hard to write on this, but I actually ended up liking the way that it looked because it reminded me more of something that was actual vintage type of farm decor. So I mean, if you want something perfect, take your time with it, really take your time with it, or you can print out an image and just stick it to the crate. I'm actually really proud of this particular project just because I think it's really cool that it was made with some toy that you get from Dollar Tree and it looks like a real crate. So that is it for the video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and again, if we could get this video to 5,000 likes by the end of the week, I will do another fall decor video for you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.